My name is Chris Blount. I've been attending Redeemer for 9 years. Growing up in a biracial family, it was a good thing. I felt like it taught us to value all kinds of relationships, but it was hard to figure out where you fit. That did lead to a quest for acceptance. I want to say it was in middle school. I had a neighbor who was on the high school lacrosse team. When he asked me, do I want to smoke pot with him, it was just something like I felt like I had to do. After my parents' separation, it was just a full-on divulgence into all of those opportunities to get high. I was angry. When I went to college, my belief in God had already been kind of rattled. And I even had a professor at one point say, there is no God. I just embraced that culture, embraced that idea. Things had gotten pretty rough in college. I was wanted for 2 separate charges. It was just kind of a mess, and drugs really just became the blanket I would cover myself with. New Year's 2007, everything came to a head. At this party, I had this extra amount of drugs on me. I just ended up taking everything. I remember sitting on a sofa. This crushing weight was just pinning me where I was sitting. There was a fire that appeared around me. It was all over me. I was seeing flames around my back of my neck, and just the room was just so hot. I remember just screaming out, help me, at the top of my lungs, just screaming out for anybody to stop what they're doing and just help me. The louder I was screaming, it was like the less and less people even looked in my direction. And even though I hadn't really talked to God or believed in God as much as maybe I did as a child, I started calling out to Him and just asking God to help me. I spent the night at my dad's house. He came home with this Bible for me. I just started reading. Eventually my mom, she called me and told me about this class called Alpha at her church. I got there in the evening, and this young woman opened the door. She was beautiful. I didn't know at the time, but she would end up being my wife. By the end of the 10 weeks, I was ready to commit my life to Him, to the Lord. And it was like the Lord was telling me, for as long as you have been drowning, I have sustained you. I brought you onto dry land, yet you refused to breathe. And it spoke to me on so many levels, like He had already done the work to bring me to salvation. I just wasn't accepting it. And for whatever reason, like, it was enough in that moment. Having a relationship with Christ has really just blessed my life. Everything is different. I see everything differently. I enjoy time with a wonderful woman. I have some beautiful kids, and we have a good time. When I think about what the Lord has done for me, I really think about Ephesians 4, assuming that you have heard about Him and were taught in Him, as the truth is in Jesus, to put off your old self, which belongs to your former manner of life and is corrupt through deceitful desires, and to be renewed in the spirit of your minds, and to put on the new self, created after the likeness of God, in true righteousness and holiness. I think I would want people to know that God has done enough. The saving work that God has done in Christ is enough. It doesn't matter what you've done. It doesn't matter how far off you were. God is powerful, and He is mighty to save.